And we are live on the PHU Dynasty podcast for the first time directly at the time we said we were going to start it, Sean, here at 8 p.m. for episode 101. We're in the triple digits and we're just going to keep rolling. This is going to be your season weeks, 2025 season week 1 and 2 recap. We're also going to preview the week 3 games. We got some real football to talk about. It just feels like it took so long to get here this year. We finally have real football. We have real breakouts. We have real duds. We have real injuries. There's so much to talk about.
So many duds.
I said, yeah, a lot of duds, like more duds than studs this year, I feel like. But we'll get right into it with the standings. So after 2 weeks of real football, we have the Lake Lure Long Gamers at the top of the leaderboard. Your defending 2-time champions here in the PHU Dynasty League, going for the three-peat. And frankly, points-wise, Sean, it's really not even close. There's nobody really within like 40 points of you, to my knowledge. So really nice start to the season for you guys.
We're taking on the haters here 1 week at a time. Now, it's been a good start.
So. I was the unfortunate soul who had to go up against you last week, and it was I thought I had a nice little week. It wasn't like one of those barn burner games for me, but then I looked at the leaderboard, I was like, well, Sean's at 160 already. Okay.
I had to do a couple chores like during like the third quarter of the 1 o'clock games, and I came back and I was like, oh my god, Amon-Ra St. Brown has like
yeah, because I had been out in Florida, and I came back and I was like 3 touchdowns. I was like, what happened? I know the Bears are bad, but come on.
They're so hurt.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. These kids have so many problems. So the Long Gamers on top. Cheese Fries in the 2-hole with 253 points for playing a relatively easy schedule so far, but he's still 2-0, and we thought the Cheese Fries were going to be a good team this year, so not really a surprise there. Battle Axes with the lowest points for of the playoff teams as it stands right now, playing an easy schedule as well. However, there's been some good news for the Battle Axes in general, just with the running backs, the receivers that he has have played reasonably well so far. Losing Kittle definitely hurts, but he's in the thick of it, and starting 2-0 is a very good thing, obviously, for your playoff hopes, because really it's kind of the race to get to 7 wins is usually what you're looking for. So if you can get to 2 early, that's always a good thing. And in 4th place, it's going to be me with 260 points. I've had a couple of tough games to start the year. We managed to get the week 1 win. Obviously ran up against a tough Sean team last week here. But we're really liking the way things are going for the Armadillo so far. Just overall, we feel like we have tough roster decisions every week, which is good and bad. So it's been interesting to try to figure out who to start. In the 5-hole, we have the Lionheads with 247 points. Lionheads have had a couple. They're 1-1, just a couple of games that. Obviously at this point, when you get into the first part of the season, you kind of have to see some of these guys, specifically the receivers, a little bit of a slower start for McLaurin and some of the other folks on his team. But there's also some really solid running back play on this team as well that we'll get to. Kentucky Elk at 1-1 with 242 points through 2 weeks. A pretty solid start to the season, all things considered, for the Elk, who are kind of ascending into that next tier. I think most people thought that he would be kind of in this range anyway to start the season, so it definitely adds up so far. The Baton Rouge Bombers at 197, the 1-1 schedule. Another tough start for the Bombers. I mean,
it feels like we're going to talk about them the most of any team.
Yeah, we'll get to them. We'll get to the specific matchups. I don't want to spend too much time right here. And then the 3 here at the bottom, the Plague, Lamb, and Muskrats. All 3 are pre-season kind of were the favorites for that first overall pick, if you will, lowest in the league. I will say that the Plague and the Lambs have put up a lot more of a fight in these first couple of games than I originally had thought.
Plague are frisky.
Yeah, they're actually they're out here selling real fake doors. So you have to appreciate even though they might not be true contenders, they're still putting up a nice little fight. And then you got the Muskrats down there towards the bottom at 160. Just not a lot going on down there, to be honest with you. And we lost about 15 points, 20 points off the Quentin Johnson non-start week 1. So definitely just keeping them down towards the bottom there.
Fair is fair. he currently looks like he's winning that trade.
I was gonna mention it. He's got big brain energy going on right now with this trade because he got shredded for trading a third. I think maybe I didn't get enough. He's killing it.
Third year breakout.
Third year breakout.
Honestly, all the first rounders from that draft are all having like a third year breakout. But
it's looking very good for that draft class. Well, there's a couple maybe that still have we haven't even seen him play at this point, like Addison. But there's I mean, that one seems to be turning around very quickly, and I kind of regret it at this point. So, so we'll see. We'll get to those specific matchups here, and I think we should do that right now. Why not, Sean? So week 1, we'll start with me and the Elk here. In week 1, I dropped 123, projected for 150, so a little bit lower than the projection, and the Elk with 97, well shy of their 126, almost 30 points shy of their projection. At the top, we had the quarterbacks week 1. That Dallas game week 1 was a fun one to say the least for the first half, and then it really tailed off in the second half.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It
wasn't
was like
roller coaster of emotions during that game.
Yeah, for Eagles fans, maybe not. But I mean, I thought for a first game, from a fantasy perspective, it was pretty. At least it was exciting.
That storm delay just sapped all the energy out of that game.
It looked like there was going to be no defense to start the game, which was kind of cool for fantasy purposes. So anyway, so Jalen Hurts finishes with 24. That stat line, Sean, that 19 for 23, 152 with 62 on the ground and 2 touchdowns. That just feels like that's just Jalen Hurts.
Pure Hurts right there. That is exactly.
You take your 20 and get the hell out of there, basically. And then, of course, there's always that chance that he gets, those bigger numbers with some passing touchdowns as well. But that seems like the baseline pretty much for Hurts most weeks. Last week was not good, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Trevor Lawrence in the first week against Carolina literally just didn't have to do anything to even get the 26-10 win. And that team just hasn't looked good on offense yet, outside of the Travis Etienne and Bashal Tutin thing going on.
In the air.
Yeah, in the air, nothing's going on. Absolutely nothing.
They look fantastic in the run game.
Which is kind of what I expected from Liam Cohen. That's how it was last year. I mean, for the most part, for the Bucs, if Bucky breakout. Of course, there's better overall passing play.
Expecting BTJ and Travis Hunter to be receivers 3 and 4 on this team through 2 weeks.
No,
as far as receiving yards. So that's not great. Not great.
And it seems like too with Lawrence to quickly talk, there's already maybe some trouble in paradise with Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence waving them off on the sidelines and getting pissed at each other. It's like, you don't want to see that in week 2. That just doesn't feel good.
I know we're talking about week 1, but did you see that Cohen tried to claim an injury that wasn't disclosed
for Lawrence?
Brian Thomas? No, it was Brian Thomas. He said he'd been dealing with a wrist injury, but nothing was ever reported.
Yeah, what a load of shit. That guy, he was scared.
So so he's trying to cover the guy. He might be catching a fine for trying to cover for his guy, though, because if he said there was an injury and he didn't disclose it, he is.
Yeah, I mean that's some Belichick stuff going on
there. I mean, if in the locker room you're like, I'm willing to take a fine to protect my guy from being called soft, I think that goes.
It might be worth it
in the locker room, yeah.
I mean, at least for that, but then on top of it, for Brian Thomas specifically, if you get into you start getting on Twitter and get into the media, start seeing stuff like, oh, he's soft, it's just not going to feel good and probably compound the problems. But so anyway, not a great week for Lawrence week 1 here for Dustin. Getting into the running backs, Christian McCaffrey had 31 touches week 1, and I was like, oh yeah, we're back. It's we are going to run this guy into the ground.
let's ease you back in here.
I thought it was going to be an ease it back in situation. And then I literally was watching the game or watching Red Zone, and just every time Red Zone was on, it was just Christian McCaffrey getting 4 yards and getting absolutely smoked at the end of every play. So I was like, okay, I think
that entire game was like a late 90s fever dream of 17-13. Let's give the running backs all the touches. There's one receiver on both sides that's doing everything. It was interesting.
It did feel very 90s. That's a great analogy there. Kyron Williams on the other side had 18 carries, 66 yards, and his prototypical touchdown basically every single week. It just seems like he scores a touchdown no matter what.
Yeah, talking about talking about a Hurts line. That is like a Kyron classic right there.
Yep. Yep. That is absolutely a Kyron classic. Down to Ashton Genty, who through 2 weeks, Sean. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on like specific weeks, but we can talk about the players as, kind of a whole for these first couple of weeks. It does not look good for that Raiders run game at all. Kind of going with Omarion Hampton, who we'll talk about in a minute. Like neither one of those really highly thought of running backs from this rookie class have looked good so far. I mean, I think Genty has looked better, but there's just nothing to work with.
Yeah, I mean the stat line coming in or through 2 games for the Raiders is their average yards after or before contact.
It was like negative 0.2.
It's negative 0.32 for the running backs.
So bad.
So, like it's really hard to put anything on Genty. Like if you watch the games, it kind of feels like watching that Penn State film again, where he's like fighting for his life to get like 3 yards, and he looks amazing getting 3 yards.
I mean, this past week, I watched a couple of carries where he absolutely trucked people. Like as soon as he had some space, I was like, okay, there's Ashton Genty, but like he's got to have a little room to work with.
Yeah, and like it's not surprising that he's like struggling with that line, but like I thought he was going to get buoyed more in the receiving game, and he's just not. He's
hardly out there. I see more Zamir White in the receiving game than I expected.
I watched the 2-minute drill with Dylan Laube on the field.
That's crazy. Like
that's offensive. Like what are we doing?
You spent a first top 10 pick on a running back, and you're playing Dylan Laube. Like what are we doing here? But then I saw him do pass protection, and I was like, that's why he's not on the field. He was awful. It was probably some of the worst I've seen.
Yeah, he's not huge out there.
He does look very stubby. Like I knew he was smaller, but then when you really like look at him against the NFL players, it's like, oh, he's really small.
You understand why he was Michael Myersing in college.
Nobody could see him behind the line clearly. Devon Achane on my side, just a horrible game for the Dolphins week 1. It was just not fun to watch. He did get the bailout, suck out touchdown, the old Ford government bailout towards I think it was in the middle of the game, but literally just the game script went completely away from running the ball, so that just wasn't even a thought process. But he has looked good in the receiving game as he usually does. Mm-hmm. Going into the receivers, kind of a big nothing burger from a lot of these guys, frankly. We had the Devonta Smith first game basically was unusable from a fantasy standpoint, like didn't really do anything week 1.
Yeah, I mean, he basically didn't have a training camp with an injury all off season, so it's not surprising that he's not like flying around like crazy. So
yeah, and then Ladd, wide receiver 2 here for the Elk. You could argue wide receiver 1 this week, but Ladd McConkey had 6 for 9, 74 yards. Kind of a ho-hum first game for him, kind of exactly kind of what I envisioned, at least for maybe a first game. But Quentin Johnson really has been the flashier of the 2 players. And I do think with like McConkey, I do want to make a quick point that, I think Keenan Allen being there will maybe take away a little bit of the volume, of course. But I think they're passing it so much more than I thought that I'm not worried about Ladd at all, long term here.
Yeah, they were top 5 the back half of last year in neutral pass rate, and coming into this year, they're like number 1 with a bullet. So like they're literally just like, all right, Herbert, you're
just gonna have to carry everything. Yeah.
Which, I mean, when you beef up, like if you got QJ stepping up and you sign Keenan Allen back, and then you draft 2 receivers, like it makes sense. Like
they're 5 deep at receiver. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
I mean they're pretty good.
I think KLS could be playing for other teams in the NFL right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and even Harris is usable, at this point. So, like, they have the pass catchers to do it. I mean, the line has not looked good for them. I've noticed that Herbert's usually scrambling for his life, and it clearly has not done anything for the running game. So, very, very interesting start to the season for the Chargers. Just unexpected, I guess, in terms of just the volume of passing. And I don't really see it slowing down. Also, too, they've had 2 tough-ish games, I would say. Like, I mean, the Raiders maybe not so much, but they have a good front 4.
The Raiders defense is so well coached, it's crazy.
Well coached, and like they have talent in that front 4, like Crosby, Kuntz. I know they have a good defensive tackle as well. So like it's not like it's a guard.
Do they?
I think like not so much in the passing like pass rush game, but they have some run stuffers.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean a whole lot unless you're
Mhm.
Omarion Hampton. Then we go to Xavier Worthy, who just literally got crushed by Travis Kelce, which I still can't believe that happened. I remember like I didn't really even see that play. I was on the plane and I had turned on the highlights like to see what had happened, and I was like, geez, like he just ran right into him. There's just like absolutely no attempt to get out of the way.
Just running mesh, didn't get enough depth, and just absolutely crushed it. But I mean, that's life when you're running across the field when you're like 170 pounds. Like that's kind of part of the deal with guys like that.
Yeah, I mean he's tiny, and you're running into 250 pounds, so it's just not an ideal situation. But I think it seems like he'll be back at least soon-ish. So you'll get him back soon, and they desperately need him because they have looked terrible without having any real weapons in this passing offense. George Pickens on my side, that first game drew a couple PIs, the usual George Pickens game. Didn't have I think he got a couple red zone targets, but they just couldn't haul him in. But
the Eagles put Quinyon Mitchell on him the entire game and said, beat us with CeeDee Lamb versus the rest of our DBs, which they should have done.
He pretty much did, and except for the drops, but we'll get there in a minute. But Pickens, he had a much better week 2, but we'll get there. Brock Bowers at tight end, awesome week 1, 5 catches for 103 yards. Did have the knee injury, and you could absolutely see it last night. Like or a couple nights ago, he just did not have it going on. And I hope they just sit him at this point. Like just give him a week or 2 to get his shit together, because like you could see such a difference in week 1 to week 2, and he's just so damn good when he plays. And clearly, like that offense needs him at full health in the receiving game, because they just kind of don't really have those elite pass catchers outside of Bowers. So interested to see what they do with him in the next couple of weeks from an injury standpoint. Tyler Warren has looked awesome for the first 2 weeks of this. I think most people kind of got onto that bandwagon towards the end of like the redraft cycle this year. We're like, oh yeah, he's going to get a zillion targets. He had 9 targets in week 1. Danny Dimes is like the ultimate perfect person to throw him the ball. I think he looks like he's going to be like at least a top 7 tight end this year if it keeps going.
It's just so frustrating because like all of us are like, this roster is so good, but their quarterback situation is so bad. But you're like, but the roster is so good.
But it's always the roster.
So like it really shouldn't be surprising that they're 2-0, because like if they just get like mediocre play at quarterback where they're completing passes like that, it should be fine. And it is more than fine right now. It's impressive.
It's kind of funny. I was listening to PMT, and like they had a really funny quote where they're saying, like we've always wondered, like, oh, if the Colts ever had mediocre, decent quarterback play, they would be pretty damn good. And he's like, we still don't know because Danny Dimes is playing elite football right now. We've never seen him play mediocre football.
Andrew Luck is just watching from Stanford, like, where the fuck was this roster when I was?
Seriously, dude, he would have won the Super Bowl with this roster.
Yeah.
Moving down the list, we had Omarion Hampton. Week 1, he had 15 carries for 48 yards. Just kind of a tough week 1. He just couldn't get anything going. That line does not look good in the run game. Also, like, I think we both talked about on this podcast, like Hampton, we knew coming into the draft was not much of a lateral runner. He's kind of a straight. He's got to be blocked up, got to go straight ahead. When those holes are filled, like he's just not gonna be electric in the running game. So until they play some maybe lighter boxes and get some worse defenses to play against, it might be a tough sled for Hampton to start at least. So
yeah, honestly, again, 2 I think quality defenses that he played the first 2
weeks. And 2 well-coached defenses, like you said. Like yes. They're very solid. In the slot here on the right side, we had Tet McMillan, who's looked very good weeks 1 and 2, much better than I expected, kind of right out the gate. So I'm going to be willing to eat a little crow on that one, because I just was worried about like how quickly he would be able to kind of get separation and beat press. But like I watched some of the tape on him recently from week 1, and I was pretty impressed. Like he actually looks the part, and his wingspan looks like 48 feet in the end. I don't know. Like I know he had that in college, and we saw it in college, but like it seems even bigger for some reason now that I'm watching him in the NFL. So very interesting player. Staying on the Panthers, we had Chuba Hubbard, 16 for 57. with a receiving touchdown sprinkled in. So I think pretty much that whole game, like they were just trying to run, they were just trying to run the ball to kind of take some of the pressure off of Bryce Young, but there was just, they knew what was coming. It wasn't going to work. I have been pretty impressed with Hubbard in the receiving game to start, because we've been kind of poo-pooing him for a little while. He's been pretty involved in the receiving game so far this year, and there's been a lot less Dowdle than I originally thought. So
yeah, I agree.
So I'm
surprising.
Kind of perplexed, but I'm okay with it because it makes it easy to just start Hubbard every week. But then we're going over to Malik Neighbors, who went 5 of 12 for 71 yards in week 1, went aggro in week 2. Russell Wilson went aggro week 2. I'm kind of interested to see where it just bounces out at this point, because it was such a departure from the week 1, and it was just completely different week 2. I don't remember, who do the Giants play this week? Isn't it like
they're the Sunday night game against Kansas City.
Okay, so they're going to get another solid defense, well-coached defense. So it should be somewhere in the middle, maybe, you would think. Like, it's just like, I don't know what to expect.
I mean, their secondary is super attackable, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because I think their safeties are bottom 5 unit in the league as far as their safeties. So we will see.
And keep moving. Emeka Egbuka has been awesome first couple of weeks. Monday, he didn't get used quite as much as the first week, but he's just looked the part every time he gets the ball. He had 2 touchdowns week 1, caught the game winner. What would be the game winner? Just really good player.
On a play that absolutely should have been called for a flag, but it's fine.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, the Charlie Heck trip was a class act. I mean, that was... we were watching the game here, and I was like, "Oh, what a trip from Charlie Heck! What a ball player!"
This goes full, like, fucking spread his legs out so he can catch whatever he can.
Absolute dog, junkyard dog, Charlie Heck. Jaylen Warren has looked very good weeks 1 and 2 in his limited.
Yeah. Usage went up in week 2 as well.
Usage went up, and I read some stat that like his yards over expected is like really, really high so far. So. I'm imagining he's going to keep getting more work, and I guess we could quickly touch on Caleb Johnson. It does not look good. It is. I mean, that whatever happened this past week with that kickoff was so bad.
I
would have never played him the whole year.
Him to be a healthy scratch in week 3.
I mean, we are in full doghouse mode, I think, at this point.
Because like they're not playing him in the run game or on offense, and he's definitely not playing special teams in week 3. I think they're gonna doghouse him for a couple weeks too. So
yeah, we might not hear from Caleb Johnson for a little bit. Defenses, Washington had a solid game. Nothing really else to talk about here, but just overall, kind of a ho-hum week for the Armadillos, and the Elk. Definitely not their best effort week 1. Getting basically nothing out of their receivers for the most part. Receivers combining for 9 points is just not going to win you a week. So let's go to the next game. We got Long Gamers. Plague. Big game from Lamar week 1. In that, it's kind of surprising, like a 40-41 game. Like his numbers don't look that crazy for a 40-41 game. Obviously, because Derrick Henry did so much work as well, but still 33 points, 6 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Super efficient passing day against a Bills defense. It looks like they couldn't do anything. Just an interesting week 1. I mean, that game was awesome. What a game! just brilliant Sunday night game for week 1. But definitely a vintage Lamar game. Joe Flacco here for the Plague, sneaking in for 14 points, which is probably all you can ask for the Plague at this point.
He got hosed on those 2 interceptions that he threw.
Yeah, those were horse crap.
Both apps. There really needed to be like a receiver caused interception stat in the NFL.
I think that you should like be able to split an interception with a receiver.
Yeah.
Like I think you should get 0.5. Like you shouldn't even be credited towards that. Going over to the running backs, we had Chase Brown, 21 carries for 43 yards against the Browns. They
offensive line is so bad.
They don't have an offensive line, and it's not getting better. Chase Brown's efficiency the first couple weeks has been really tough to watch, but he's getting every touch, which is crazy. So like,
I will say it doesn't feel as bad considering Derrick Henry just had the same line against Cleveland. So like,
maybe Cleveland's just awesome in the ground game.
Yeah, their rush defense the first 2 weeks has been very good.
I mean, Cleveland's defense in general, like, they function. Like
good.
it's not that they've never been like terrible. They have talent. Nick Chubb, week 1, 13 for 60. Nothing in the receiving game, kind of as expected. He's looked like kind of what I thought.
He looks
just doesn't look. Looks fine. Can get you tough yards, but he definitely doesn't look explosive anymore, and he definitely is winning just based on his IQ and vision at this point, which is fine. So I mean, at least for Dan, he's got a usable running back, which is a big boost for him, I guess, for this year. James Cook here, 16 points in week 1. Kind of a tough efficiency day as well, 13 for 44, a touchdown. Did well in the receiving game. Week 2 is much better for him. Looked really, really good week 2. Looked, frankly, completely electric. I mean, his contact balance and just like the way he can move his body was very eye-opening, because I was like, I didn't feel like I've seen that from him before. Like, I mean, I've seen him play well, but not like that. So maybe the extra dollars in the wallet maybe gave him a little extra juice or something. I don't know, but he played very well. Over to Emmanuel Wilson. I'm not going to spend any time there. That was a tough one.
No longer. It says no longer on the roster.
No longer on roster. There you go.
That
sums it up.
There you go.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, week 1 against the Packers, did not have a very good week 1. Week 2 was a completely different story. I'm sure we'll get there, and we definitely have talked about it a little bit already. He was crazy. DK Metcalf, week 1, 4 of 7 for 83 yards. He's the only receiver really that's worth a damn to throw to. That week 1 game against the Jets was crazy.
If I remember correctly, like at least like 70 of those yards were yak.
Yeah, I think it was like mostly slant routes or like little out routes or something. He did look pretty good though. Like, I mean, like I will say, like for what Rodgers is trying to do and like what the offense is trying to do, like they kind of just don't need a lot of other options. They kind of just need one guy. They run the ball a lot and throw it to those tight ends a lot.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were like just expecting like 150 target season incoming for DK Metcalf, and that's just not what's going to happen here. It doesn't feel like so.
These first 2 weeks have been very interesting for the Steelers, because it's like the week 1 looked very good offensively and week 2 did not. So I'm kind of interested to see kind of where it balances out to, because week 1, like Rodgers looked like completely legit on the rollout passes. Like he looked like vintage Rodgers. And then this past week, it looked like he was running a quicksand. So I was like, I don't know what's.
Yeah. I think Seattle might be the best defense in the NFL. So
they look pretty damn good, man.
They're very good.
Playing some good ball.
Yeah.
I mean, who do they get week 3? They have a.
Seattle is playing. Oh, shoot. Who is Seattle playing?
Yeah, we can come back to it. I feel like they had an interesting matchup. Moving on to Drake London, 8 for 15, 55 against the Bucks. He did get hurt, I think, in like the third quarter. Didn't come back to the game, but just super hyper targeted in that first game. Literally just eating Jamel Dean alive every time he got the ball. I just surprised the numbers didn't go higher. Like I thought we were going to get a lot more from London week 1 based on that, but it didn't really turn into numbers for some reason.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm not worried about London.
Yeah, I think they just kind of like this first week against the Bucks, they kind of just needed to like settle in and see what the season was going to look like, really, with a Penix full off season. And then this past week, it just was not good looking at all against the Vikings, who have a great defense as well. So should get better. Jerry Jeudy, 5 of 8, 66 yards in that loss to the Bengals week 1. It's kind of been like ho-hum for Jerry Jeudy so far, like just nothing going on really. 8 targets in both games, but not a lot going on. All right, so then we're going down to Keenan Allen. For the ghost of Keenan Allen he's still out here, still selling real fake doors. 12 points in both of his weeks. This so far this year. He's just still Keenan Allen. Like he's just like doing his thing. 33 years old. He's number 11 receiver on the year. So a nice little for a team that kind of is a nice legacy. Finished the career year here with the plague. Definitely needs.
He's not
help.
Finishing the year on this team. Come on.
Hey, we don't know that. We don't know that. We would. I mean, it would make sense to trade him. Sean, I'm more interested in talking about Tucker Kraft. This is a Tucker Kraft podcast. So we're looking pretty good after 2 weeks. We feel good.
I mean, he's He's the top 5 tight end.
He looks explosive. Like he looks like he gives me some old school Kelsey vibes. Like the way he's running out there. Like I can see it. I don't want to put him in that category or anything, but like he just the way it looks on the field is very, very explosive, finding the holes in the defense, making plays down the field, which is rare for tight ends.
Yes.
I just think, especially with like the lack of just overall talent on this passing game at this point, with Jayden Reed banged up, Wicks and Dobbs are just meh. Golden hasn't done a whole lot so far. Like Kraft is kind of the guy right now, so I think he's just going to keep putting up numbers. Tyreek Hill week 1, boy, just Tyreek Hill.
That whole game was
that game was every time they cut to that game on Red Zone, I was like, what is going on? Like this is just the Dolphins just are not good. It's just that simple. I hate to say it, but they are just not a good football team. He did kind of go back up a little bit this past week in week 2. So I was pretty impressed with the rebound there with 109, pretty efficient too, 6 for 7. So maybe they will turn it around a little bit more and use him a little bit more moving forward. But vibes are bad right now for the Dolphins as a whole.
It's not good. I saw local beat reporters in Philadelphia doing some fancy work putting in Eagles stuff on McDaniels as the new offensive coordinator. So,
I mean, he's like one of those guys that will probably just end up being a better OC than a head coach. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's just like in terms of like the leader of men, kind of like I don't think he's the guy. I'm sorry.
Him and Sirianni together would be just the biggest weirdo group of coaches.
I mean, there would be the most Adderall taken for any locker room in the NFL is that they just look like they're just tweaking all the time. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Michael Pittman week 1 had a really nice week 1, 6 of 8, 80 yards, a touchdown with Danny Dimes. Didn't have a great week 2 with only 4 points on 40 yards, but kind of just looked like what we saw from Michael Pittman a few years ago, actually, from a production standpoint. So like maybe this Danny Dimes will tick him up.
I think we all forgot that he was playing through a back injury like all last year.
And he was never like a bad talent. It was never like, oh, he stinks. It's just like he's just not special, which is fine. Like you can have an NFL career being average, like that's fine. He's definitely not getting paid like he's average, but that's a different story. Alvin Kamara, 11 carries, 45 yards, a touchdown, and a couple of catches in a really terrible game against Arizona. Arizona's got to be the worst 2-0 team in the league. Like, I mean, like they just never look good. I can't believe that they're 2-0, but I can when I look at their schedule.
That's the Kyler Murray effect. He's just look at all this talent. It feels so disappointing. Like every
their run game looks like shit this year too. Like nothing looks good about that team.
Well, their run game coordinator from last year. Do you know where he is now?
I don't even know. Probably Eagles, I imagine.
He's the OC for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay. So that kind of adds up. Fair enough. What's his name again? I forgot his name.
I don't remember. To be honest,
I thought I knew what it was, but I don't.
I did teach myself some random receiver on the Carolina Panthers this week that I'd never heard of.
That guy. We need to talk about that guy. That's what this podcast is all about. Who the hell was that guy? I mean, I know they're down a bunch of guys, but like, I literally had never heard that name one time. Like, where's Jimmy Horn?
That's true. Where is Jimmy Horn Jr.?
Like, I thought Jimmy Horn was in that spot. So who is this guy? I still don't even know his name. It's crazy.
His name.
Don't even know his name. We got nothing on his name. Name. We got nothing on his name.
Where are you?
It's supposed to be about
Bryson Tremaine.
Bryson Tremaine. That sounds like a Madden create a character.
That's AI.
That's like one of those guys you draft in year 7 of your Madden franchise. And this was supposed to be about Kamara. He basically this Saints offense is not good. He's going to just function.
I think it's looked better than expected.
I don't like their line plays not look very good, frankly. And that's what I'm most concerned with for like a guy like Kamara. Cause like if he's going to be getting 21 carries a game, like he did last week, like that'll work. But when they get in negative game scripts, which is what I think will happen when they play better teams, he'll get his catches, but like the efficiency is probably going to go down.
I mean, they've played two teams that haven't lost yet. I know it's only 2 weeks, but
you played I just don't. The Cardinals are not a good team. I don't care. And then San Francisco is like getting better, but they have Mac Jones.
I think they're going to get the shit beat out of them in Seattle.
Yes,
that's the game Seattle has, by the way, this week is New Orleans.
I was going to say, might have to put some money on Seattle this
Seattle.
week. Yeah, so, especially on the road too. They played their first 2 games at home.
Those were both home games for them. Oh yeah, man.
It's not gonna be pretty.
Spencer rattled on the road.
0-2 at home to start season is not ideal.
But zero expectations, and they looked frisky in both games. So like,
yeah, they've functioned. I will say that they have functioned.
For a team that's 0-2.
That's true. They have functioned.
That's like the dream if you're a team that like once the first pick, you're like frisky in every game, but you don't win anything. That is like, can you really ask for any more if you like want a new quarterback?
No, I mean, at least like he hasn't looked like JJ McCarthy or something like where it's just like non-functioning offense like this
shadow IR.
I mean, it's literally like, phantom. Like they should be checked for phantom injuries. Like that's, I know he's say hurt, but like, geez, like that seems like a problem. All right, next up we got Romeo Doubs, 2 of 4, 68 yards week 1. He also had 8 points in week 2 with a little touchdown catch. So he's usable for sure for the plague. There's no doubt about it.
I'm just starting my old guys against me, and I respect it.
Yeah, you gotta love it. We have Tyrone Tracy. Kind of lost his job last week. I'll say that. Like that turned around really quick.
Yeah, and criticizing the coaching staff does not help your case.
No, so I feel like he's going to start shifting his way back on the depth chart.
Could be shifting his way onto another team.
It's crazy. He's only been in the league 1 year, and he's already like and he looked good last year too. Just like basically phased out at this point. So that'd be interesting to see how that progresses. Scatterboo looks fun though. But that's what we all expected. He's just a bull. He's a dog. He's a bulldog. Yeah. Josh Palmer, week 1, 5'9", 61 yards. Backed it up last week with 47 yards. So kind of exactly what I kind of thought for Josh Palmer, to be honest with you. Like nothing crazy.
Are you excited for 800 yards and 5 touchdowns?
I mean, listen, like for the money they paid for him, it's good value.
Like production, yeah.
He's getting the job done. Kicking wise, solid games from the kickers, and defense is pretty much just like a regular old defense week there.
Cameron Dicker, now the most accurate kicker in NFL history with at least 100 attempts.
Wow, news to me. Dicker the kicker.
There you go.
I also read today, and this could have been an AI story. Is he Chinese? He's from China.
Dicker?
Yeah. Was that AI? Did I get bamboozled?
No, because I listened to a podcast. I think Mina Kimes said something about him.
He grew up his first 11 years in his first 11 years were in China or something.
Well, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
It's I mean, like I was just like, wow, I just did not see that coming.
I know, because like the Jane Daniels have like a Japanese flag on his helmet because he's like an 8th Japanese or something.
Yeah, like the 23andMe said he was like 4% Japanese or something. I don't know. There's just I was just shocked by that because like I would not have put that on Cameron Dicker at all. So anywho, good win for the Long Gamers last week, kind of just taking care of business week 1 against the Plague as he was supposed to with 126. And then we'll go into the Muskrats Bombers, which turned out to be more of a game than I expected, that's for sure. Bombers, Joe Burrow. We got to talk about Joe Burrow. Is this, and we really need to talk about the Bombers as a whole at this point, probably. Joe Burrow is hurt a lot. And I don't want to say he's injury prone because all the injuries he's had have been like bad ones. And it hasn't been like these like, nagging, whatever. It was a torn ACL. It was a blown out calf. Turf toe, like a bad turf toe. Like these are bad injuries.
I mean, he had an off-season elbow injury where he couldn't grip the ball for a while too.
I mean, like I think we can probably put him in injury prone category at this point. Like I hate to say it, but like we've had a long track record of this at this point. And
when you play behind a subpar offensive line and you're a quarterback that likes to make plays, like it's kind of the risk you run. I mean, it is what it is.
They just can't seem to block for him ever either. So that kind of leads me to like, I mean, obviously for the Bombers, they have backup quarterback options. They have Jordan Love and Tua's, still there as well. So it's not like there's nothing. I'm just trying to not imagine starting Tua at any point this year. I mean, he did look pretty good last week, but I just don't want to start him basically. But basically, we're down to Jordan Love and Tua. It seems like a yearly occurrence for Burrow. Like, do you think it like maybe it's time to like kind of move on? If you're thinking about like just the Bombers as a whole, like, with this Burrow Chase stack, the way the team has kind of functioned over the last couple of years, like I think Vince kind of alluded to it on the last podcast when we talked about the Bombers. Like, we have pieces here, but we maybe don't have a full roster. Like, it's kind of just leaning towards that way now that Burrow's hurt. Like, it makes that discussion have a lot more validity now that we don't have Burrow for the whole year.
It's such a bummer because like you come into week 1 and like ETN is actually
plays well.
Good.
Yeah.
You get like Ricky Pearsall year 2
Solid.
incoming, like looking very good.
Kenny Walker had a good week last week.
He's even getting startable play from Kyle Pitts, and then the Burrow thing happens. It's just brutal. Like I think it would be easy to do that. I think I don't know. I still think if he trades for like a quarterback, I think he could find his way into the 6th seed, but it's going to be a lot harder now.
And the price has definitely gone up because quarterbacks have been getting hurt quite a bit recently. This past week, I feel like there was a lot of quarterback injuries, but like we were just talking about, like Etienne and Walker have, kind of both, like Walker week 1 was clearly not good, as you'll see here at 2.4. He was horribly inefficient, and Charbonnet actually looked better week 1, completely flip-flop week 2. But with, no Mixon, Etienne and Walker are going to be the starting 2 running backs, but there's not a lot of depth here on this team. Chase's outlook has to take a bit of a hit here, right? Like, I mean, obviously, he's still great, but I don't think we can expect those gaudy numbers. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a tick down, right?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a lot of like more closer to like a PPR scam kind of guy as opposed to like the explosive numbers. Because I mean, with Browning, he is very capable of like running the offense. The biggest difference with them is like he gets the ball out like super quick because he does not want to die behind that offensive line.
He knows they're so bad.
So it makes it a lot harder for any big plays to develop for them. So it's just a matter of like, are you going to get that week where Chase breaks a tackle and goes the distance, which he is very capable of doing. I just think he's going to be a little more crowded trying to make those plays now.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel a lot less good, I guess, if that's a terrible way to say it. I just don't feel good about that whole offense moving forward, really, at this point for anybody. All right, keep moving here. We can kind of quickly gloss over the 0.9 from the running backs on the Muskrats, literally 0.9 combined from Etienne and Dameon Pierce. Pierce, I think, was inactive this past week, so that's tough. And I think the Etienne was just to play against the other Etienne. I think that was kind of just the thought process there. Etienne did look really good week 1, also looked good week 2. I think he's just back at this point. Obviously, Tootin is getting touches now as well, but he's been very efficient.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could be a very interesting sell high guy if that's the way he chooses to go. Because, I mean, you're talking about a guy that could probably be, I don't know, like a top. He could finish as an RB1.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's RB7.
That scheme Cohen has is sick. Like him, it's going to be him and Tootin, I think, for the rest of the year as far as like the relevancy goes. But I mean, he could totally do it.
I mean, he's getting 60% of the touches, roughly 60% of the snaps. So, and he's getting a decent amount of work in the receiving game. So, I have him in redraft, and I feel very good about him at this point. Moving into the receivers, Luther Burden with the negative 0.3. That's a fun one. Jaden Higgins put 3 points. He's kind of just hasn't really done a whole lot these first couple of weeks, but it's going to be a bit of a slow start probably for. And honestly, that Texans offense just does not look good. They just something's just off with the Texans offensively, and I can't really figure out what it is.
They made a choice with what they did with the offensive line, and that's something at this point through 2 weeks that they can only do what they can do. They can only play the guys that are on the roster. Yeah. What I don't understand is why you decided to take 2 receivers in the top 100 picks instead of offensive linemen and then not play them.
Yeah, I mean, Nolan's a kick returner. Literally, and Christian Kirk's not even out there.
Why are we playing Justin Watson in the slot? when
Yeah,
you have
I don't
two
get it.
guys that are, oh my god,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Like, I mean,
it's so
especially because you draft them in the high picks too. These aren't even like, fourth and fifth rounders we're talking about. So I don't get it. Unless they just don't think they're ready, which would be kind of surprising.
you
Like,
put Higgins on the field and he made didn't he catch like a 30-yard pass as soon as he was on the field?
he had a nice play, I think. It was like a 28-yard pass against the Bucks. But then I didn't see him the rest of the game. He didn't even get targeted.
And Jalen Noel almost took a punt return back to the house
Sure
in that
did.
game. When they got opportunities, they made plays, and they don't.
It's like,
put
what
up
more
that.
do you? Yeah, what more do you need to see? And then that was without Christian Kirk. So like he's coming back, and they'll probably put him on the field. So it's just like it's a very strange situation.
The other, and because we already talked about him too, the Luther Burden, like with the Bears, like what are we doing with our draft picks?
Like Colston Loveland is like one catch a game so far. Like he's hardly getting anything.
Loveland, Burden, Ozzie Trapillo was their third round or their other second round pick who's not playing.
I think he was like a healthy scratch.
Shamar Turner was also another second round pick. Is not playing. So their top 4 picks aren't even seeing the field.
Yeah, I don't. It's just strange for it. And they're both. It's not like they're both struggling teams so far. It's like you would think, oh, let's try something different week 2, or let's switch it up, and they just haven't. So like I don't know what they're doing. Either one of those teams.
That make no sense.
Marvin Harrison, good week 1, very bad week 2.
Kyler Murray purgatory.
It really it's kind of the long and short. Like he looks fine. Like the eyeball test seems to be better than it was last year. So we're gonna have to just kind of wait and see on Harrison. Hollywood Brown had a good week 1 with a zillion targets after Worthy went out. Definitely came back down to earth last week against Philly in a good defense, but he gets the Giants this week. They just let up a zillion points. It could be another good week for Hollywood Brown coming up, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And tight ends, Sam Laporta, good week 1, kind of a dud week 2. The 9 targets week 1 against a good opponent was like, oh, that feels pretty good for Laporta, who I was kind of concerned to see how they would use him. This past week, I just don't think they needed him. Like they were just like, we're just gonna just do our thing and try some new stuff.
He kind of got vultured. Didn't their backup tight end catch a touchdown?
I think Brock Wright got one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that adds up. I saw a clip of TJ Hawkinson running a route from from the game this the Sunday night game. He might be cooked. He doesn't look good.
Really?
He no longer looks good. It was basically like a play that was supposed to be some sort of like seam out and up type of deal, and it like none of the movements looked good. It looked clunky. It looked bad, and I'm wondering if maybe like obviously with the quarterback situation there is not good right now, but like there might be something more to the story here as well. Maybe like he's always hurt, so like maybe some of these injuries have like compounded over the time that he's been in the league. I mean, he's been in the league 7 years almost already. So maybe there's something there where we need to see a little bit more from him athletically. But
it's curious because I was thinking about putting some money on different lines for him this week with Wentz starting because Wentz loves throwing to tight ends. He loves throwing.
Well, with that in mind, maybe this is a good litmus test to see if he's still got it.
Cincinnati is bad.
They're very bad, very very bad. Maybe I'll tail you on one just because like if there's a chance that he's like maybe it's just bad weeks or something, maybe a slow start to the year or something, but it didn't look good on film.
Yeah, I mean, these should be the weeks that Hawkinson is doing something with Addison out. So it's been disappointing for sure.
You would think DeAndre Hopkins has actually looked kind of usable here for the first couple of weeks. He's catching these long touchdowns. So
doing his highlight reel like
one-handers and crazy shit. Which you know what, if you're gonna this is last year, you're gonna go out like that. You know, let's have some fun out there. So. I love it. He's just not going to be a volume guy at this point in his career. He's 2 catches each week. So, Juwan Jennings had a tough week 1. It just didn't go well for that passing game in week 1 really at all. Week 2 is great. Had 10 targets, 5 catches, 89 yards, and a long touchdown in the first half, I believe. So, I think he's just going to keep getting touches.
I think if Mac Jones is playing, I think he's probably just the better option at receiver compared to Pearsall right now. I think Mac Jones is just going to be more conservative, and that just I think bodes well for him and McCaffrey in the passing game. So
yeah, Jennings is the chain mover of the two. So if it's going to be check key down type stuff, then I would feel good about Jennings in the starting lineup at this point. Mike, starting 3 tight ends, by the way, for Alex is brutal. Just needed to mention that, especially when the tight ends are Mike Gesicki, Chigakonkwo. Like, it's just like, what are we doing here? Also did not start Quentin Johnson in week 1 after trading a 3rd-round pick for him. Borderline inexcusable with the talent that's on this roster to begin with. So, like, I don't know how you didn't play him week 1. Moving on to Pearsall, 4 for 7, 108 in week 1. He had a nice long catch in that game as well. He looked explosive compared to the other guys on the team, especially because Kittle went out. But definitely kind of took a step back last week. Arizona.
Everything he wins with is downfield, so it just doesn't feel like he's ever going to get any layups. So I think the variance is going to be super high on him all year, which is going to be frustrating, but I think you just have to flex him like every week just so you make sure you get those boom weeks.
And then we can go into Charbonnet, who did play well week 1 given the touches he had, but definitely took a back seat and really was probably one of the most inefficient days you could have, 15 for 10 on the ground. I don't think I've seen a stat line quite like that in a while.
His rushing yards under expected when I looked at the NFL Plus account. Do you want to guess what his negative amount was?
I don't even have a guess for you.
It's negative 45 yards under expected rushing.
Negative 45. I mean, it was kind of strange because it was the other way around for that running game week 1. Like, it was literally like the stat lines were almost reversed. So I don't even know what to believe in that backfield. But I will say last week, Ken Walker looked good, which I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to be wrong on Ken Walker this year.
We're going to get 2 more weeks of good Ken Walker, and then he's going to get hurt, and then we're going to be back to Charbonnet, and then it's, the vicious cycle will just
it's just tough to know what's going to happen every week there. Cam Little, 15 points. That's Alex's 2nd highest scoring player this week, so I thought that was a fun nugget. Not much to talk about other than the Bombers really just did not have a great week. Still managed to get the win with 94 points. The outlook just doesn't feel as good for the Bombers right now with the injury to Burrow. But there's definitely some guys that are overachieving and not so much overachieving, but just doing better than what we thought prior to the season, like ETN.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like the feel-good stories on the roster are just getting like clouded by all the crap, unfortunately.
Yeah, like this guy's good or this guy's good. It's like, oh, then Burrow's hurt and Hawkinson and Pitts still really aren't that great. And it's like there's kind of just it's the classic Bombers cycle that happens every year. I get my hopes up and then it's just like, man, just didn't work out again. But I hope something changes for them. And Jordan Love is not a bad backup at all by any means. So like he should be functioning at the quarterback position.
He's good.
All right, we'll go into cheese fries, lambs, and because we're almost at an hour already, I've already decided that we're just going to kind of quickly go through week 2 because we're talking about most of the overall week 1 and 2 for each player. So we'll just keep going on the week 1 matchups and then kind of just quickly go through the scores for week 2. Cheese fries, lambs, a good week for the cheese fries, 147 points. Literally, week 1 gets the Josh Allen experience, 40 points, exactly what he traded first 2.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know if there's a better, opening game for, I just traded 2 first-round picks in a 1 quarterback league for Josh Allen. Like that might be a lot. And then you see this stat line, you're like, nope, it's just fine. So I don't think it's an issue at all. And I'm sure Tibbs feels very good about having Josh Allen on his team moving forward, even if he has a broken nose from this past week. Josh Allen's still awesome. Nothing's going to change there for me. The Lambs finished with 102 points, which not a terrible week, but you would kind of hope for something maybe a little better. But this team, at the running back position week 1, didn't really know what it was going to look like with Jerome Ford out there. And then Austin Eckler kind of just not really a whole lot week 1. And then, of course, tore his Achilles in week 2. That might be it for him, honestly, at this point. I think he's got to be done, right? Like
30-year-old running back tearing their Achilles feels
like, and why even try to come back at that point? Like, he got his big contract at one point. I think he loves playing fantasy football, from what I understand. So like,
he's already done media work in fantasy football.
I mean, he seems like the perfect guy.
He was still a player, which feels not kosher, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how that works out, but anywho, like if that's it for Austin Eckler, hell of a ride. just a great player for James's team for a lot of years. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I assume he's going to be done. Jahmyr Gibbs on the other side, what a week 1 game for him. 9 for 19 on the ground, 10 catches for 31 yards in the air. Just incredibly inefficient game, but really had a good week 2 with 16 points. The efficiency just bounced right back on the ground. So I think it was just, frankly, the Packers look really good. I think that's just where we're at.
On the road week 1 for a team that doesn't play in the preseason, playing against that defense, I think
new offense
was just like a perfect storm of like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah,
they look pretty much back to form in week 2, so I don't think there's any worries with them going forward.
I mean, get Baltimore this week, and then Cleveland, which is a good run defense. We found out that in week 4, so we'll get to see a little bit more of like where this maybe evens out to, if anything. Josh Jacobs on Tibbs' side, just doing Josh Jacobs things week 1 and 2, literally all the work. There is no other options for this offense. There is nobody that even remotely gets touches in this offense outside of him from a running back perspective.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him catch like a couple passes, but
they just don't use him that way, I guess. But
yeah.
I will say he's been relatively inefficient, though. He hasn't had bust out any of these crazy runs or anything, but that's kind of like his MO. Is kind of just get those 4 or 5 yards and just keep the chains moving. All right, moving over to Jerome Ford. This was like a horrible game in general for the Browns, but Dylan Sampson kind of really took the receiving game in week 1, and then now with Judkins back in week 2, I just feel like his usage is just going to keep going down at this point.
Yeah, that hot take's going to take an L because Judkins looked very good.
Yep, he looked like the best runner on that team
that
for
being
sure.
Said, Sampson has looked pretty good too. So
he's good in the receiving game for sure.
I think you just drafted 2 good running backs is what.
That's what I thought originally. Like it's like I don't think anybody thought that either back was like not good. I was not expecting Sampson to do as much in the receiving game based on what he did in college, but he definitely fits like the prototype for that better. So I understand why the split is going to be that way probably, but not really interested in Ford at this point with him back. So, all right. So this was the CeeDee Lamb big drop game. So he had 110 yards on 7 catches. Could have been 200 if he just caught some passes. He was getting all the work week 1. Looked awesome. Just the drops were uncharacteristic, and frankly, like you can't make those drops when you're making $1 zillion like he is. Like, I mean, one of them was bad. Like one of them was unacceptable. The other ones were
for like 1,700 yards, and it feels like so disappointing so far.
I mean, he feels like a 2,000 yard receiver, which is crazy. He's had 110 in both weeks to start the year, so no touchdowns so far either, though. So that's another thing. I think the problem is I think Pickens is going to start taking some of these touchdowns away.
I think Pickens is second in red zone targets for receivers so far this year,
and it makes sense. That's what he's good at. That's what they were kind of missing last year too. Puka Nacua has looked awesome first 2 weeks. Literally, just I mean, I kind of was falling into that like, oh, Devontae Adams might be better this year. It looks like that's going to be wrong. Puka is still really freaking good. So
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be wrong by very much. Like the way
they're both playing well.
Yeah, I would bet a lot of money that Devontae Adams will score more touchdowns than him this year.
I mean, he hasn't scored one yet. So
Devontae Adams leads the league so far in 2 weeks with end zone targets. So
maybe that's a bigger deal for Kyren Williams if they're going to start doing that.
That is true. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point.
All right, keep moving. Brian Thomas, the phantom wrist injury that we talked about earlier, has not looked good at all through 2 weeks. He's had 19 targets and 5 catches. That's just not going to do it.
It's going to be the biggest. I didn't end up with him anywhere this year, but that would be the biggest L for me this year because I am his wide receiver 4.
Yeah, I mean, I picked him in redraft, so that's not feeling very great right now. That being said, like I still feel like with the overall volume that they're giving him, I think he's going to be okay, but it's just a matter of like he's just got to not be scared going over the middle. That's the hard part. So maybe find ways to get him involved outside of the middle of the field, like just to kind of get the bounce back. But Yeah, look at that. He practiced in full on Wednesday. Yeah, that's a phantom. This is an absolute nothing burger.
The incoming fine for Liam Cohen right there.
Sounds like a fine to me. Keon Coleman week 1 looked really good. That looked like the Keon Coleman that everybody was expecting, frankly. And then back to reality here a little bit in week 2.
Yeah,
Good tough matchup there.
That's gonna be the problem with Keon Coleman is like, how often are they gonna need a performance like that?
Dude, look at this schedule for the Bills, by the way. Miami, New Orleans, New England, Atlanta, bye week, Carolina.
Hey, Atlanta's defense is...
They look much better, I'll say that.
Yeah,
their pass rush actually exists this year.
But then, after that, Carolina, then they get Miami again after KC, and then Pittsburgh.
All I know is for the next 7 weeks, they got
nice. Yeah,
they're going to be absolutely cooking.
Yeah,
Bills are good.
The AFC East being booty is really
they're very, very bad. All right, keep moving along here. Jackson Smith and Jigba, a couple really good weeks to start the year. Basically the same stat lines as CeeDee Lamb if you put it all together. He's been awesome. Just no touchdowns yet, which kind of sucks. But that
was kind of that's what was scary for him, for me coming into the year, is like, are the touchdowns going to be there? Because like Darnold threw a lot in Minnesota, but like, I don't know, I don't trust it as much. So
yeah, I think we're just at the point, like for me, I wanted to see like one more good year from Njigba before like I really just felt comfortable with him, and I think we're at that point now. It's like, okay, he's good. Like I think we can just truly say he's good. So that's kind of nice.
Doing it a lot on the outside too. He's not really been in the slot.
Yeah, that's a big deal, because I thought he was mostly a slot guy for them, like just the way he's been used in the past. But that's not the case at all. Mark Andrews has been ass to start the year.
Big tight end matchup in week 1 here.
Really bad. I have him in redraft. I have him in Loveland, and I'm like, what the hell? Like one of you guys couldn't figure it out.
That's tough.
So I don't know. I think I just picked up Ferguson. I'm just gonna play him instead.
Yeah, I mean he might be cuttable.
Dude, like based on like the way it finished last year for him,
like he's just not getting the ball. Like the receivers have really taken over the target share on that team the first
he played 80% of the snaps and had 2 targets, like 3 targets, whatever it was.
Got one catch punched out for a touchdown too in week 2.
I mean, maybe it's just like a hangover from that terrible fumble he had last year. But who knows? And the thing is, this is happening without Likely. That's the problem. It's like, okay, you're getting all the looks here at tight end, and still nothing's happening. So I think we're in.
And Likely's back at practice, I believe. So like,
wow.
I mean, if he just ghosts again with Likely in the lineup and Likely does anything, I think he's just going to be. He died.
Now he did do something. I will say he did do something similar last year, where he did basically nothing for the first like 5 weeks of the year, and then absolutely turned it on at the end of the year. So
look at all his touchdowns.
He has zillion touchdowns. So like, I don't want to panic too early, but the vibes are not good right now.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have any injuries in the offseason. Like, there's nothing that says like he should be struggling to produce. So it's a little scary.
A very strange week 1 and 2 for Andrews. Cade Otton, he's Cade Otton. Like, what else do you got to say about Cade Otton? Like, he looks okay at times. Other times it's like, all right, why am I even considering playing this guy? He's just not a giant part of the offense. It's just the way it is. He's not a bad tight end. He's just not a fantasy guy. All right, getting into the flex players. For Tibbs, Breece Hall looked very nice week 1, 19 carries, 107 yards, looked explosive, was involved in the receiving game. That all pretty much evaporated in a bad game script last week against the Bills. I just don't know where the medium is for Hall.
I think it's just going to be it's going to be this or that. I don't think there's going to be a medium.
It's just going to have to be like you play them in a matchup that they're going to actually not be blown out in. Like now with Taylor in there, you would think they'd run it more, but maybe not.
Okay, maybe. And then once again, like my biggest concern coming into the year is like when and where the touchdown's going to come. And so far, like he hasn't even had like much of an opportunity to score a touchdown, let alone.
I think the one time that they got near the goal line, they gave it to Allen.
Yeah.
So strange.
Allen, your Justin Fields, big body on the goal line, like that's probably gonna vote. It's scary. Like I think I don't know if he's going to have the capability unless he actually like just houses one from like the 50-yard line. Like,
I want to see him get traded. I'm just tired of. This is what I hate. Like I know Hall is a good running back. I know it. So
agreed.
like I just want to see him somewhere else. I'm just tired of this. Like it's just like I've had him in multiple leagues. I know he's good, but I can't sit here and wait for the talent to show up.
I don't understand why Kansas City wouldn't call.
Especially right now, because their running game looks like a joke right now.
At this point, I'm wondering to myself why Brashard Smith isn't actually getting any opportunity.
I think if he doesn't get touches like this week, like there might be a bigger issue with Brashard Smith, because there's no reason that they shouldn't be trying everybody out at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
like even Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell's just getting healthy scratches because like he doesn't. I mean, like
special teams probably
play special teams. Brashard Smith is returning kicks and stuff, and like he's actually playing snaps. I think he played like 20% of snaps week 2. But
gotta give him some chances.
Yeah.
And then Hall gets the Bucks this week. So I don't think it's going to get much better, frankly, because we have a good run defense. But
no, it's going to have to be like a big play just in there. I think
tough start to the season because like there's the hope is there, but then he can also dud you at any time. Travion Henderson, week 1. Was very involved in that receiving game with 6 catches, but kind of just nothing really happened week 2 for him. He had a couple of like explosive plays in the receiving game, but he's not really getting a lot of touches right now.
Did you see why he wasn't on the field as much in week 2?
I did not, so I'd love to hear.
So he had 2 or 3 F-ups in pass pro that caused like
really
problems. Yeah. Which is very surprising because that's was his.
That sounds like I need to go to the NFL Pro to watch those.
So Vrabel came out after the game and said that the pass that Ramondre caught like down the field was a play designed for Travion, but they pulled him because of the penalties.
Dang. Okay. Well, that's certainly an interesting turn of events because he was supposed to be the best pass pro running back in the draft. I kept hearing it over and over again. I saw it with my own eyes in college, so it's like I don't really know what's going on there. I'll definitely have to watch that on the All 22 because that's something that I did not see at all. So interesting.
I think it's coming. Like I still trust him more than Ramondre rest of season.
Yeah, at some point they'll just even out a little bit. Jordan Mason, interesting talking point this week because of the Aaron Jones injury. I mean. He's looked good. I think he's one of the better pure runners in the NFL personally. Like he just looks good when he runs the ball. He just doesn't really offer a whole lot in the receiving game. But now with no Aaron Jones for a little while, at least here, you got to think wheels up for Jordan Mason, right?
Hey, yeah, unless you're a big Xavier Scott guy. I don't
even know who Xavier Scott is. Is that a thing?
He's the backup running back.
Who is Xavier? He's spelled with a Z. He's totally got a hair. 26. I've never heard of this guy. What has he ever done? He's done nothing. He's never played. But you know what? Dan picked him up. Dan's got him.
He looked good preseason from when he played. I don't know.
He's from Maine.
Wow.
I've learned. Hey, you learn something new on every time I do this podcast. I learn at least one new thing.
All their other running backs are hurt because Ty Chandler's on IR too.
What about CJ Ham? What do you think?
Look
at this college.
He's 32.
He is old. He's been around forever, dude.
God,
30. He was playing when Matt Asiata was playing.
5'11", 250. Holy shit, that boy's big.
That boy's big. Augustana College. I couldn't even tell you where that is. It sounds like Maine. It sounds like it could be Maine. Anywho, Jordan Mason, I just think for James's squad, who frankly really needs the running back help, like to get that bump to try to win some games this year, like that's actually a huge hit for James at this point. So, and I think that trade I kind of want to go back and see what that trade was. It was Jordan.
Pulling it up right now.
It was Jordan Mason for Ty Johnson in a 4th, for Ty Johnson a 3rd and a 4. So it seems like a pretty good trade right now.
I was okay with trading Jordan Mason away just because of the profile. Like he's such a one-dimensional guy that's going to be in a committee, and he's 26. So and I felt okay with my running back depth. So I was like, let me get an extra draft pick.
Yeah,
another guy. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy that
He's definitely usable.
Useful right now. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he could be in RB2 territory at this point with the amount of touches he's going to get. So keep going here. James Conner, this whole offense is just
stuck in the mud.
Ass. The efficiency numbers have been terrible for this entire running game basically so far. And I have seen some plays from Trey Benson in the receiving game that are like, oh, maybe there's something here. So maybe he's 55% of the touches. It's kind of, I wonder what that was last year. Last year is about the same, I guess. So nothing really too different in terms of running back wise. He finished 10 last year, 15 the year before, and this year he's 16. So he's basically on James Conner pace at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter has literally done nothing from a fantasy standpoint.
I'm concerned.
I have lots of concerns, and I guess like I heard this on another podcast, and it definitely made me think for a minute. Like, is there any reason to, if you were to do a redraft rookie or a rookie draft right now, like you're always taking Igbukah ahead of him, right?
I think you'd have to take Igbukah, Tet.
Would you consider Golden?
I would take Golden ahead of him. I would consider Io Manor ahead of him.
Wow. Whoa.
Io Manor's been on the field and he's playing like.
Yeah, he's actually doing things.
Snaps.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dude, Travis Hunter is getting called 2020. Like he's getting called like Wandale Jr. from last year. Like that's because of the way they're using him. Like it's like I don't understand. Like this guy can win on the outside.
They don't use him on the outside.
Doesn't make
any sense.
Put him
in the slot. I don't know. Maybe I honestly think like this type of player and like all the new changes in the offense and the organization, like maybe they just need some time to settle in. But the problem is they've played 2 bad defenses and it hasn't worked.
Right.
And that's the issue. It's like if they had gone against like Houston and Kansas City and Seattle, I'd be like, okay. But that's what they have coming up.
And the other problem is that even if it hasn't worked, they've put up points in those games. So like they're not going to see it as an issue. More than likely, unless
they're scoring points, they're not going to change anything.
But I mean,
it doesn't feel good. Vibes are bad.
Yeah, he played over 40 snaps on defense in week 2, if I remember correctly. So
got a penalty too.
He played. Yeah, it was
not a penalty though.
Yeah, it was.
I saw that and I was like, that's not a penalty.
He got rookied on that one. But I mean, he played 80 something snaps in that game, which was like 20 more than anybody else, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I want to see him play on the outside. Like, let him do what he did good at college. Like, just let him do that, and maybe they'll realize that that's where he needs to be instead of this kind of. They're using him in the Jalen McMillan role from last year, where it's like the jet sweep handoffy like motion thing going on. Like that's not really what I think his best role is.
Yeah, and I believe their second DB just went on IR or is out for weeks. So
you're gonna need him there.
He could be playing more DB than wide receiver the next few weeks, possibly. So
hey, De'Ami Brown's the receiver to own there anyway, so who knew?
There you go.
All right.
Parker Washington.
I like Parker Washington.
Dismissal. Brutal.
He's not very good.
I appreciate you just completely skipping over AJ Brown, by the way.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like we can't. Like, I honestly, I didn't know I did that. So thank you for.
I mean, the Eagles are throwing 22 times a game. It's just like, what is he supposed to do?
I mean, that catch he had week 1, big chain moving catch.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He's clutch. I mean, he does what he's got to do when he's got to do it. But it's just, I'm surprised he hasn't started reading books again.
No, he said he wasn't going to do that this year because it brought too much bad publicity.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I bet the communication staff had a word with him.
I think he tried to get a deal with whoever like the publishing company was, and they said no. So he's like, "Fuck you! I'm not reading books anymore."
Kind of love that. And then we had a James Ollie Gordon start week 1. That did not work. He has not been really involved much of it all. I think he's had like 12% snap count week 2, 25 week 1. That offense is just bad. Just the whole team is bad. We've talked about it a lot. And then let's go to our last game, which was the Battle Axes Lionheads, one of the better matchups from that week. Battle Axes take the win 136-109. Vince's team falling short of projection by quite a bit, 20 points. So let's get right into it. We had Jaden Daniels week 1 for 22 points. Kind of just hasn't really done a whole lot, frankly, like in terms of like elite fantasy play, just kind of just okay so far, which we did talk about it at some point on this podcast. Like this felt like the regression team. It's kind of looking that way a little bit on offense. The running game is definitely different than it was last year, and we still don't really know what it looks like now with Eckler out.
We're about to find out with Bill.
I mean, I'm firing up Bill and everything. Like he killed me last week, but I'm still going back to the well and redraft. So, but he's getting Vegas, so we'll see how that goes because they've looked pretty good against the run so far. Daniels is not practicing; he's got a knee injury.
Yeah, I'm not playing him this week in redraft.
Doesn't feel good.
Whether he plays or not, I'm not playing him. So.
It's really not a huge issue for Scavelli, who has plenty of backups, but you would like Jaden Daniels to be at full health. Michael Penix on the other side, good week 1, 280.
That's a ballsy start when you've got Kyler playing New Orleans week 1.
Yeah, especially against Tampa. But the thing is that the narrative has always been that Tampa can't function against the Falcons usually. So he did put up the numbers, so he's got 26 points. But
yeah, it worked out for him. Yeah.
I mean, with him and the unexpected Bijan Robinson receiver stack, 6 for 7 for 100 in the air for Robinson and the touchdown. Didn't do shit in the running game, but completely made up for it in the receiving game. So basically 40 points out of those two guys is kind of nice. Problem is the rest of his team kind of took a dump outside of Zay Flowers, who had the 22 burger. Terry McLaurin, slow start, kind of somewhat predictable slow start, frankly, with the no offseason situation going on. Matt Golden hasn't done anything through 2 weeks, literally didn't even have a catch last week, which was very surprising considering they don't really have anybody else.
In his defense, Jordan Love missed him on a touchdown.
He did. I saw that. Let's see what else. Pacheco has not looked good.
That's bad. I don't want to take a victory lap when I was selling.
It's starting to look like you can though at this point.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. I don't want anybody to actually fail.
Well,
I thought it was going to be like everybody was going to be okay, but it was going to be a split backfield. Not everybody was going to suck.
I still don't think in my just watching the games with the eye test, I don't feel like Pacheco sucks. He's still running the way he used to run. It's just something's off with the offense. Nobody's scared of the Chiefs offense right now from a deep passing play standpoint. So they can just stack the boxes. So and not only that, Chargers and Philly are both quality defenses. So it's not like he's played like garbage. I'm interested to see what happens with the Giants because they do have a good front four, but they're more pass rushers than run stuffers. So it might be a bit of a more opening, I guess. And then once you get down lower in the schedule, it could be better.
Yeah, the Giants are very gettable on the ground. So if they can't do it there, because their linebackers are, I think their middle linebacker is out.
Is it Okereke?
Or McFadden?
Micah McFadden's the other one.
Yeah.
They play 3 sometimes. So
if you can't get them there, I know outside of Dexter Lawrence, that front isn't I don't fear them in the run game whatsoever because Burns and Abdul Carter are just undersized.
They kind of got a little bit last week too with the Cowboys got them a little bit there too. So
yeah, and the Commanders got them in week 1. So it's
beatable defense for sure. So we'll see if Pacheco can turn it around. Barkley and Henry week 1 doing Barkley and Henry things week 1. We should mention Henry because I can't believe that stat line from week 2. I have him in redraft and I was like, that's the best we could do is 11 for 23 with nothing. I was like, that just hurt to look at. I was like, man, after week 1, I thought we were just going to cruise right to the victory. But that did not happen at all. So
I was listening to a pod and he was the number 1 player in week 2 on the chopped or the guillotine leagues.
Really?
He showed up on 23% of the rosters that got cut. I was like,
that doesn't surprise me one bit though, because he everybody would have started him. Yeah, just a tough week too, but a very good week 1. And Barkley has just been doing Barkley things for the first couple weeks, so nothing really to talk about there. Evans has had a bit of a slow start in terms of just no touchdowns so far, and Ibuka's got 3 and he's got 0. I don't think that's gonna hold.
Yeah, that'll swing back.
Yeah, he's gonna get his, and I just think like he doesn't look any different than last year. Like I was kind of curious to see if he had slowed down a little bit so far this year, but he looks the same to me. So there's really nothing to be concerned about for Mike Evans in terms of just like his talent at this point. T. Higgins, bad week 1, good week 2 with the touchdown, but the volume hasn't been great in terms of just getting 3 catches a game so far, and I don't really feel like the vibes are very good with Jake Browning, so might be a bit of a tough sled here for Scavelli.
I am concerned.
Yeah, I think that's I can't say anything less than concerned. It just doesn't feel, the vibes are bad. Stephon Diggs, week 1 had 57 yards and then 32 yards in week 2. Booty kind of looks like the guy.
Diggs, the baby daddy.
Stephon yes, Diggs. I saw that today. Yeah.
Nobody told us that the pink substance was a gender reveal on that boat. That's amazing.
Wow. That's a nice zinger. I haven't even thought about that. I didn't like Diggs going into the year. I still feel the same. There's just something's not there.
I think he'll improve throughout the year. He's coming off of an ACL tear.
So that's true.
I'm not too worried about it.
Booty has looked very good though, so I'll say that.
Yeah, their splits for their receivers are crazy.
Kyle Williams isn't even playing.
Kyle Williams has played 17 snaps so far this year.
That's
who's
crazy.
Counting?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you are, but George Kittle goes 4 for 25, touchdown in week 1, gets hurt unfortunately, so he's eligible to return in week 6, but I don't know if he's actually going to be able to return in week 6 because of the injury. Just kind of hurts. He was playing like with the fact that Jennings has kind of been banged up. Now that Mac Jones is in the game, it would have been really nice to have Kittle around because he would have been crazy targeted.
Yeah, he would have been very set up for a huge year. He'll probably still finish top 5 in tight end, even missing like 5 weeks.
Missing a bunch of weeks. I mean, he's very good. I actually made a pretty big trade in one of my other leagues. I had Trey McBride, it's a tight end premium league. And I had Trey McBride. I got a really good offer. It was Jaden Higgins and Trey McBride for 2 firsts, George Kittle and Colston Loveland. And I was like, I have to do it. I have no choice. Even though Trey McBride's like really fucking good in that league because it's like 0.5 per tight end reception, and Trey McBride loves getting catches. So it's like it hurts to move on from him, but like I still think Kittle is more than good for the next couple of years. So interesting in general.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe that this is probably going to be Kyler's last year in Arizona. So
I agree at this point. I don't really.
You get a quarterback that can actually throw a dig. Like I don't know. McBride might be like a sell high guy this year.
Maybe. I mean, if they go the rookie route, then maybe it's not as productive as what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, McBride has been very good just in terms of overall usage. He's getting the yardage, but once again, just no touchdowns. It'd be nice to see a touchdown or 2 coming in soon for McBride. Jonathan Taylor, really solid week 1, but then exploded week 2. That was vintage Jonathan Taylor. That was like, oh shit, I remember when he was doing this all the time a couple years ago.
Oh, I remember.
And it was beautiful. So he looks like he's back, and they actually have somebody that can throw the ball. So
yeah, not only this has got to be the most receiving yards he's had through 2 weeks in his career so far.
Between that and the fact that he might not face 9-man boxes anymore, that's kind of cool. So I think it's just gonna be a good year for Jonathan Taylor. He's got like some of these games, like they're pretty good schedule wise. Like Tennessee this week should be another hit spot, you would imagine.
He can't be anything lower than a top 5 running back the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna be awesome. Tony Pollard. Oh, sorry, I skipped Bucky, which is I should never skip Bucky.
How dare you?
He's been good for just a couple weeks. Splitting touches still. He got vultured this past week a little bit with Rachaad White getting that goal line touchdown.
I will say Rachaad White kind of deserved it.
He played well.
His runs and saving Baker's ass on that fumble.
Absolutely. He was excellent pass pro that whole game. So like I just think Rachaad White is just like he's never gonna be valued probably as much as he should be. Just because he's just not that guy in terms of explosion or anything like that. But from a real life standpoint, like he's as good of an RB2 as you can have, basically. So really interesting dynamic for the Bucs there. But Bucky's just doing Bucky things from last year, so I expect that to continue. Tony Pollard here, kind of just like he's getting the touches, just no touchdowns so far. But you would like.
This is going exactly kind of how I thought it was, like a rookie quarterback the first quarter of the season. Like I feel like there shouldn't be like high expectations for production on this offense, but Cam Ward, regardless of like what his like counting stats have looked like, just watching him, like he's gonna be fine. He's good.
Yeah, Cam Ward, he's got that it factor. Like you can just see it. It's like, oh, he understands it.
I think he looks better than any of outside of Jaden Daniels. Like has looked better than any of the other rookies through their first 2 starts last year.
Yeah, like just in terms of like the moxie and like the way he like handles pocket presence stuff, he looks the part. Like he looks significantly better than a few of the guys last year.
Yeah, I mean he's taken a ton of sacks, but like that's life as a rookie when your right tackle misses a week. Like that's
and
tough.
His game in college was kind of improvisational in a lot of ways as well. So I think he's probably learning the NFL clock, the internal quarterback clock that everybody kind of gets figured out at some point during the rookie year. But he's going to be good. I have a good feeling about him.
Yeah, if you're learning what you can get away with in the NFL through the first couple weeks, and you can get away with that touchdown pass that he had in week 2.
Yeah, seriously, that was
okay.
And just to get back to Tony Pollard, like he's getting all the touches, like 89% of the snaps. Like that's great for fantasy. So you can just keep firing them up, and then the touchdowns will come at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones, we mentioned him a little bit earlier. He's going to be out on IR. He can't return basically. It seems like till week 8 at this point.
7, 8. Oh, they have a bye. Yeah.
So
they got a crazy schedule coming up too, because they're playing Cincinnati, but then they're in Ireland and
so they're going like London and Ireland,
Europe, or they're in London after that. They play 2 international games back to back, and then they get their bye.
That's crazy. But yeah, I mean they're going to be a Jordan Mason team for the next 6 weeks basically, and when Jones comes back, he should have value, but who knows how bad it'll be, because I think it's a hamstring and he's an older back, so that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, they'll be patient with
it. David Montgomery on the other side here, kind of just production-wise has been okay, but the snap percentages, he's only getting 11 carries a game at this point. Not much work in the receiving game. It's Gibbs' backfield. It's just a matter of can he get the touchdowns, I think, at this point, right? Like that's the way it kind of has crumbled down to it.
I mean, he's going to be either like a few points or 10 points with a touchdown. It feels like this season. It's kind of how it feels so far.
Yeah,
unless there's an injury, but
maybe not quite as productive as years past. But I think the days of 12 and 13 touchdowns might be behind us at this point. I think we're looking at single digits probably for this year. DeAndre Swift, he's played a lot of snaps. I'll say that. He doesn't look great, and he had moments at like a couple of carries here. And the thing is, he needs it to be blocked up perfectly. Like if you watch him play, like if it's not blocked perfectly, it does not look good.
The Bears are top 5 in yards before contact, so they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like he hasn't produced. He's 6 points, 10 points, but like I just never feel good about him. Like I just like there's not like it's there's DeAndre Swift going and ripping his pants again. Like I mean
this could be. I'd be fine with this being a Breece Hall team.
That would be a great Breece Hall team, frankly. I mean, that's a phenomenal fit with Ben Johnson there. I didn't even know he hadn't been banged up this week either. So, like, maybe we get more Monongai moving forward, maybe. I think Roschon's coming back too.
He played week 2, or he was active week 2. He didn't play. So,
Roschon?
I don't know what's going on there, yeah.
And he just didn't do anything. Wow, that's strange.
Yeah, they just didn't play him.
Maybe they just hate him.
Maybe.
Like they didn't talk about him all offseason. Like it's so strange. I mean, Monongai got 41% of the snaps last game. That's crazy. Anyway, we had Aubrey, who absolutely rips. He's the best kicker I've seen in a long, long time. 22 points in week 2 against the Giants, which is just crazy.
What would a kicker have to do to get, I'm not going to say a chance to win Offensive Player of the Year, but like he's not even listed as a bettable player. Like what?
Is he an offensive player? Would you like that?
That's a good point.
He's technically not an offensive player.
But he scores points. That's kind of bullshit.
That feels like it should be offensive, but
you know what I mean?
He's got to be special teams player of the year.
He's kicking a 70-yarder this year, right?
Dude, that 64 he hit was good from 80 almost. Like it felt like it was 3/4 of the way up the pole.
I want to see him actually swing hard at something.
He's never even tried, it looks like.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I think if what do you make a 64? Like if they have a 68, opportunity this year, like you got to throw him out there. Let's see what we got.
He didn't just kick a 64-yarder. Javonte turfed himself after 3 yards and they kicked a 64-yarder on purpose.
Yeah, it's like they know what he's capable of. There's no doubt. So like I need to see him get the opportunity once this year. And then nothing much here from the defense. Okay, so that's going to be week 1. We'll just quickly go through the scores only for week 2. Let me pull that up. All right, so once again, our matchup, Sean, 184 for you, 137 for me. I thought I had a pretty good week. It just ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. Just quickly scrolling through here. Lamar doing Lamar things. James Cook had that huge week as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown for 31. That hurts team morale for the Armadillos for sure. And then kind of even like Javonte Williams has been very good so far this year, getting touchdowns, which is very important. Also, way more usage in the receiving game than I thought he was going to get this year. He's getting like a ton of targets. He's got 10 targets in two games, so pretty good start to the year for Javonte.
Yeah, he
bounce back year.
He doesn't look amazing, but he looks better than he has the last 2 years in Denver. So
that's what he looked like his rookie year. Like he does, like he had that that. I honestly think like Omari and Hampton, his upside. Well, not his upside, but like his initial comparison is basically Javonte Williams from back in the day. Like he runs hard but can't go laterally. Like it's very similar. And then we had Tucker Kraft, obviously the huge game. Devontae Adams picked it up a lot in week 2. Mm-hmm. Nice game there. I will say on my team, Rome Odunze had a really nice week despite the awful game for the Bears. He looks pretty damn good so far. He's wide receiver 3.
Look at that week 3 matchup. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you think I'm firing him up again this week? You bet your ass I am. So anywho, that was week 2 matchup for us. Going into the Elk versus the Plague. The Elk put up a nice little 144 on the Plague. And I will say a nice 109, respectable number for the Plague this week. Just overall for the rebuilding squad. Good week from Nick Chubb with 13 with that touchdown that he was allowed to have from Todd Bowles. Romeo Doubs touchdown, Jake Ferguson for 78 yards, the Keenan Allen resurgence, touchdown from Booty. So that's kind of how he gets the 109. And then on the other side, a better Trevor Lawrence game, not efficient game, but just better touchdown game for Trevor Lawrence. Ted McMillan with a 100-yard game. He looks very good. Tyler Warren doing Tyler Warren things so far. And then Malik Neighbors absolutely blown up the ship with that crazy. I mean, that game, I have never seen so many deep passes from one quarterback in NFL history. It felt like every time I watched him, he was just slinging it 80 yards downfield. It was awesome.
Crazy. Wandale he's turned Wandale into a deep receiver.
Yeah, and
that's how you know.
Well, it was funny because I was watching some like camp stuff from the Giants, like just to kind of see what things were looking like with Wilson. And every time I saw a clip, it was Wandale in the slot, but they kept throwing him like deep stuff from the slot. And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe he's not just a 2 yards per target kind of guy. And it's kind of turned out that way so far. He's been usable at least. And then Ekbuka had a touchdown again. Boswell's been a very good kicker. Atlanta defense for 22. Like you said, they have looked better so far.
Going to Carolina this week where they're just brutal offensive line injuries happening there. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so the Elk, good win for week 2. They kind of needed the bounce back from the week 1, so they're definitely in the thick of it. Cheese Fries at Bombers, a real nail biter considering what the projections looked like at the beginning of the game. Very kind of underwhelming performances for both teams. The Burrow injury really hurt. I think this was probably a win for the Bombers if they had gotten Burrow to play the whole game. especially like whenever you get a chance to get a Josh Allen game where he has 11, like those are the ones you really feel like you want to win, because those don't come around that often, those opportunities. So kind of a tough loss here for the Bombers. Really good performances from his top guys. Walker was great. ETN was great. Jamar Chase, another huge game. Harrison dudded. I'm trying to see. Yeah, kind of a whole lot of nothing here on the right side. Going on the left side with the cheese fries. Gibbs with a good game. Jacobs a good game. Nakua doing Nakua things. The Breece Hall dud that we talked about. Garrett Wilson, we haven't really talked about a ton. He had a good week 1 with Fields, and then last week was not ideal.
Yeah,
how do you think he does with Tyrod now?
Fine. Tyrod can run an offense. Yeah, he'll be all right.
That's fair. All right. And then Russell Wilson with 38 on the bench, by the way. Just felt like I had to point that out, because you're never starting him over fucking Josh Allen, but just it's fun to talk about. Next up, we got the Muskrats versus the Battle Axes. Battle Axes did not have a good week, still get away with the win. Another quarterback injury here with Justin Fields going down. So I think the Battle Axes are down 2 quarterbacks at this point, if Jaden Daniels doesn't play. So no Fields, no Daniels. I think we're at the Bo Nix and Baker at this point, probably. So plenty of depth. Yeah, it's plenty of depth. It's nothing to worry about. So that's kind of working out, I guess. Patrick Mahomes, we haven't really talked a ton, but he's been fine to start the year. A couple of rushing touchdowns, a lot of rushing.
Been QB6 and QB6.
Works for me. That's not a problem. Alex, this might be the worst 2 starting running backs I've ever seen. So I didn't know it was this bad. Like, I knew it was bad, but Zamir White and Darway Ogunbowale, are you kidding me? Holy crap. Did start Quentin Johnson this week, so there you go.
If I remember correctly, you said in week 1 his starting running back scored 0.9.
They did.
And
so this was a better week.
1.3, so we're up to 2.2. Should we keep a tracker going of his starting running back scores?
I think we have to.
So we're at 2.2 so far.
Let's
2 weeks.
Okay, I'm gonna find a way to. This is gonna be fun. Well, I'll find a way to do this. I'll find a way.
Not only that, should we track that in comparison to Cam Little, who has put up?
Oh my God, Brandon Aubrey or Alex's running backs for the whole season?
No, just his kicker.
Just his own kicker. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we can run that. What do you? Here's a good bet. Alex's running backs, or whoever finishes kicker 9 on the year.
Oh, taking the kicker.
Taking the kicker, right?
100%.
So where does the kicker 15?
Give me kicker 20 on the season versus running backs.
That's crazy. We'll find a good metric for this. We'll find something. Yeah, that's just not good. Starting Trey Tucker is never good. Hopkins getting those touchdowns. Starting 3 tight ends 2 weeks in a row. I mean, let's do some quick research. Who else could we put in at this point? Because is there anybody better than Chigakonkwo? Like Jordan Whittington, like
he's got Geno Smith, aka Walgreens associate.
Yeah, I love that. Got a chip on his shoulder. That was the most random funny shit I've heard in a long time. Walgreens is.
Oh man, you had to be there.
With that stat line, he might as well be a Walgreens associate.
That was tough. It was tough.
That was a tough game. I mean, there's nobody else Elijah Arroyo.
Unless they change Savion Williams to running back / wide receiver, he can do that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's too bad you can't start multiple defenses at this point, because that's what we would need to do. And then I don't want to short Scavelli on anybody that he had blow up last week, but he didn't have a great week last week. Brandon Aubrey was his top guy pretty much. I think his top scorer was Brandon Aubrey. Yeah. So anywho, kind of a get out of there win for Scavelli last week. And then we're going to finish up finish up with Lauderdale Lionheads versus the Lambs. Lionheads get a nice clean win, 138-90. James's team, just with the Eckler injury, just didn't really help anything. And then Henderson, obviously, as you mentioned earlier, kind of got the bench a little bit for his pass protection issues. So running backs, he is going to get Judkins back, so I would assume he's going to play. So at this point, that's kind of nice for James's team. And then between him and Jordan Mason, he should have two very usable running backs, at least for the foreseeable future. But man, he's got to get Brian Thomas going. That's a huge loss if he wants to compete at all this year. That needs to happen. And then for Vince's team, running backs really blew up, and it's the same question we've kind of had for Vince's team all season. Really, in off season was the receivers. Are we going to get big, huge weeks out of the receivers? It looked like we might with Flowers week 1. He looked excellent, but I'm just not seeing a whole lot of other players that are exciting me right now at the receiving core here. But the running backs are certainly making up for it.
Yeah, no doubt. That's there's not.
And McBride is good.
There. Yep. Matthew Golden would be very helpful if he can
actually get going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good week for Algier last week too.
Golden's got a nice.
Maybe Isaac Tesla's gonna blow up. Are these the best 2 first catches in the history of the game?
Yes.
Those catches are crazy.
Yes.
It's okay that he looks like an alpaca, but it's fine. But the man can catch the football.
Yeah, man.
They just don't even need him. Like, that's the problem. Like, there's just so much talent on that pass catching team.
That's a good thing we get deep rosters so you can stash it or hold a guy like that.
Yeah, he like, I just have him in redraft right now just in case like JMO gets hurt or something, because like he could be awesome if that's the case. But all right, so that's gonna wrap up week 2. Let's quickly preview the week 3 games, and we'll get out of here. So this week I get the Plague in a game that I feel like I should win. So that would be a nice bounce back from getting SmackDown.
He's hitting you with Indiana Jones.
I'm getting Indiana Jones, but I feel good about the running back matchups here with McCaffrey and Etienne versus Chubb and Hunt. Receivers, I'm trying to think. Like Metcalf, he's been okay, but just nothing crazy. There's really nothing scary about the receiving room here.
Well, we'll see. If Christian Gonzalez plays, I'm not as worried. But if he's still out, then
I don't even know if he's playing. Yeah. Like we said earlier, the Odunze versus Dallas matchup seems like a blow-up spot potentially.
Yeah.
Nico Collins hasn't been great to start the year. He got a lot of targets this past game, just hasn't really translated. That whole offense just looks so weird. Mm-hmm. And let's see what else we got. Bowers might get the bench this week if he's still. If I just don't feel like he is playing.
Matchup. That's
I know, and that's the hard part. It's like if he's really not any more healthy than he was last week, I don't think I'm going to play him. I'll just play Ferguson, or not Ferguson. I'll play Kelsey or Kincaid at that point. Let's see any other interesting matchups. Hunter Renfro's back, by the way.
He's so back.
Two touchdowns last week, 48 yards. He's back.
He's so back.
All right. I'm going to just go ahead and pick myself for that game if we want to do pick'ems like we did last time.
Yep.
And then let's go to your matchup against the Elk, which should be a more spirited effort, I would say. I would say the Elk's quarterback situation doesn't feel good.
I said it before the year started. I said the thing that's going to hold him back is going to be his quarterbacks.
I mean, I thought Lawrence would be a little bit more functioning, but I might have to just accept that he's not that good.
I do not love that matchup against Houston, who needs a win.
Yeah, Houston played the Bucs really hard this past week, and they are desperate. Also, McCarthy's out, so that leaves you with Stroud, and Stroud has just not been a fantasy quarterback since 2 years ago.
Their offensive line on the road, I don't trust that either. I think that game screams like terrible, ugly under.
Yeah, week. I mean, I need to look at the line for that because I might drive to Oklahoma for that one. Yeah, just that quarterback situation is going to be interesting for the Elk all year, I think, at this point. Especially don't like it when you're going against Lamar Jackson. Genty against Washington, that's an interesting one potentially, just because I feel like he's got to get on track at some point, and it's just like, when is that going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like between that and the Bears next week, like one of those has got to hit. I feel like
Chicago is going to hit. Their defense is just tough.
They're not good. They're not good. And they added people to the defense. And it just doesn't even matter. Like they just don't look. There's
I
a
mean,
lot of injuries too. Yeah.
they're down like half their secondary. Like TJ Edwards is hurt. I think I don't know, somebody on their defensive line is out too. They are bruised and battered.
I will say the matchups for his receivers, you got Lad McConkey's probably going to get Patrick Surtain, you'd imagine. Atlanta, is he hurt?
Who?
Surtain, did he get hurt last week, or am I thinking somebody different?
He's back at practice. He did get hurt in the game, but he came back anyway.
Yeah.
Ted's getting Atlanta with no
Terrell.
No Terrell. Yeah.
So that's nice. And then is this J.C. Horn against Drake London? Maybe not. I'm trying to find the blow up week for London. It's coming.
I mean, he was pretty good against Carolina last year, so
maybe that's it.
He gets moved around like inside and out on that offense, that like they'll find the matchups for him.
Yeah,
I'm not too worried about it.
Avero, the coordinator, like plays a ton of zone, so it's not going to be a lot of trail man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Tucker Kraft against Cleveland. So I just feel good about that. They can stop the run, but I don't think they can stop Tucker Kraft. Tyler Warren against Tennessee feels great as well. I'll say that. Javonte Williams against Chicago. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah. All right. So like it's a lot of interesting matchups in this game. I will say that. The quarterback matchup here is really what's going to make me side with you for sure. I just don't believe in either of the quarterbacks that he could start, and Lamar is Lamar. I don't think Detroit's defense is all that great either at this point. So
no, they are gettable, especially in the passing game. They play so much man that they get got so much.
Potential secondary game. I'm not gonna say game of the week, because game of the week truly is Cheese Fries Battle Axes. But fun game of the week: Bombers Lambs. Who do you got in this one? Bombers coming out with Jordan Love against Cleveland. Herbert with a tough matchup against Denver. Don't love that. James looks like he's starting Travion Henderson this week.
That really wouldn't surprise me if that was the blow-up week for Travion, because Pittsburgh's looked just
they don't look good. I will say the only player that actually looks good on that defense right now is a guy that I didn't think.
Jalen
Ramsey. He looks freaking awesome. He makes crazy plays every week, it seems like, so far. So
that team has never needed, like, they need Derek Hartman in the middle of that defense so badly.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because he hasn't even played a snap in the NFL yet. But
they already need him. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's tough.
No, I get why they drafted him now. I feel like, I mean, the running back matchups are pretty good, frankly, for both teams. I mean, Judkins against Green Bay doesn't feel very good, to be honest. But he should get a good amount of work, and probably should. I feel like he's a minimum like 6 points at this point, just in running yards. But
he already has like 5 forced missed tackles after one game, which is
pretty good.
Just on the ground, that's crazy.
That's really definitely works. And Kenny Walker against the Saints feels awesome.
Like that. I'd probably just roll both of those guys out.
I think this game's going to come down to the receivers, frankly, because Jamar Chase with Jake Browning in a tough matchup. Harrison against the 49ers, who's much better defensively than they were or at least not last year, but from week 1. They played decent last week. And then Hollywood Brown against the Giants was kind of a coin flipper. The other side, like, we know CeeDee Lamb's going to get his, but is Brian Thomas going to show up, and then is Keon Coleman going to have another good week?
Stingley, that's tough.
He played Mike Evans hard.
Yeah, that was a great matchup.
Like, it was like kind of back and forth. They got each other each, a couple of different times, but Stingley looks awesome, dude.
Evans is one of those guys that he's never going to there was like the 3 games that he had against Lattimore in his career where he got like goosed, but outside of that, there's no corner in the NFL where he's just going to get got like all.
No, he's gonna minimum 40 yards. Like, just like, he's not gonna completely take a dump. Big tight end matchup this week. Kyle Pitts versus Jatavion Sanders.
I love the team versus team matchup in this matchup. I love that.
That is a tight end battle for the ages. Sedibu Tillman actually has caught some touchdowns here early, so he's usable for sure. Scadaboo has definitely popped up as a usable flex player for sure. So that's a fun matchup as well. Mason, probably, I honestly probably would put him in the running back slot. But
wow, Cincinnati really hasn't given up much on the ground. I don't think that's actually surprising that he's got that much juice. But because their secondary has been terrible, but I don't think they've given up much. Let's take a look. Oh no, never mind. Jacksonville got them on the ground. Just kidding.
James ripping the Tyquan Thornton start. Love that. That's a nice fun one. Wait a second. He doesn't have a starting kicker. Oh, did he cut McPherson or something?
He did, yeah.
He's got Schrader and Sly. So there you go. So the projections after the kicker would say the Bombers are going to win by a little bit. But who you got in this one, Sean? This is a fun one.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with the Bombers.
I think this might be a Bombers week. I mean, I hate to do this.
No, I'm gonna go with the Lambs because I just saw that CeeDee Lamb is playing Chicago and they.
Oh my god! I'm just you kind of got me on the Stingley thing. Like I feel like Houston's defense plays so physical, and that does not bode well for a alligator arms scared to go over the middle, Brian Thomas right now. And I don't love the running backs.
Yeah, between CJ Gardner-Johnson and Jalen Petrie in that secondary,
Shahir to Alshiri, like he's a killer.
Yeah,
like that guy he's not going to want to run over the middle of that game.
He'll be suspended at some point for a hit.
Dude, he goes hard. Yeah, I'm going to start with the Bombers just because I feel like the running back matchups are really good on his side. With the New Orleans Seattle matchup there, so I'll just go with him on that side. Next matchup, not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Lionheads, Muskrats.
I'm going to take the Lionheads.
Currently not starting a running back too.
I mean, does it matter?
Technically, no.
They have 2.2 points so far in the year.
Who's the highest projected running back on his team? Trevor Etienne?
It's very possible.
He's got 0.73.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. That's real tough.
Just out of curiosity, let's go to the waiver wire or the Justice Hill out there, by the way.
Yeah, see, all right. Like, why we could easily cut somebody for Justice Hill. Easily. Like, let's find somebody to cut. Like, we could cut Shadur Sanders, can't we? Who the hell wants Shadur Sanders?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. So there's your easy cut. And you can get three points out of Justice Hill at least.
Would you like to cut Jake Tonjes as well?
I mean, the guy's making plays. How could you cut him?
Yeah, okay. Also, he has an empty roster spot right now, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay, wait, what the hell are you even talking? Pick up Justice Hill. Like, what are we doing here? I think Vince wins the game. I'll just let's see if we can find any fun matchups over there. Boy, those running back matchups look good. Bijan against Carolina, Jonathan Taylor against Tennessee.
Oh, Bijan again. Oh, he's got Algier. He should start Algier too. Fuck it.
Yeah, I might start him over like Cooper Kupp.
Right. That might be a both running backs
Swift against Dallas
touchdown parlay right there.
This is a good matchup week for this team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is roast Detroit secondary too.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's an easy pick for both of us. And then we will finish with the game of the week, Cheese Fries versus Battle Axes, both projected for 140. Just an absolute barn burner. Lots of talent on both sides of the ball. I definitely like the Cheese Fries receivers significantly more than the Battle Axes receivers. I mean, Puka and Jackson Smith and Jigba have been pretty much a lock for 10 points in each game. AJ Brown, maybe he'll turn it around. I feel like at some point AJ Brown's going to get that 1 week where he's got 80 and a touchdown. It's coming at some point.
It could definitely be this week. I think it's going to happen. They're not going to be able to keep getting away with throwing the ball 22 times a week, especially against the Rams.
You know what I do love though? Look who's starting the tight end slot for Scavelli. It's our guy, Harold Fannin. He's in there.
He looks so good.
He looks great, Sean. And I love Harold Fannin. I just love the guy. I just didn't know what the hell was going to happen with that offense. Like if they were going to use him frequently, but he's the guy in, at the tight end like receiving position at this point.
You know who's not the guy? Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram stinks.
Not
I think it's
great.
over. What has he even done? Nothing. Like he's like I saw 2 days ago. I saw Adam Troutman making a first down catch. Like why are we still using Adam Troutman? It's like what are we doing here?
Sean Payton loves Adam Troutman.
Yeah, seriously. Any other matchups standing out to you in this barn burner? Like we were talking about earlier, Breece Hall against the Bucs doesn't feel great. Connor against the 49ers does not feel great.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson could hit us for a long touchdown. I could see that.
Yeah, I would. Oh man,
Andrews has not been usable at this point. Don't love that.
I think DJ Moore is very playable this week against Dallas.
Would you start Dalton
it's very-
Schultz over Mark Andrews?
Yes. I don't think Andrews isn't playable right now.
Like he hasn't proven he's gonna do anything. That's for sure. I mean, you can at least get 2 points out of Dalton Schultz and get out of there.
This week with Dallas, I might start Cole Kmet over him.
If this is not the Colston Loveland week, I don't know what is.
What has Cole Kmet done so far this year? He hasn't done shit. But he's
Yeah,
playing 90% of snaps.
I mean, he's just out there all the time. He's just blocking.
I'm doing my job.
I'm doing my part.
Here goes Mark Andrews. I ain't done fucking shit.
I didn't do anything. This is a tough pick. Who are you going with, Sean?
Oh man, I believe I'm gonna take.
I think I'm going Tibbs.
I'll go Scavelli because I don't love the running back matchups for Tibbs.
Yeah, Tibbs. I think the difference for me in this game is going to be Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen against Miami could absolutely slap.
Yeah, I don't like any of the matchup. I mean, Gibbs is going to get his, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be very efficient in Baltimore.
No, he's gonna. I think it'll be a receiving game for him.
Jacobs hasn't been efficient. He's going to Cleveland. Breece Hall at Tampa. We know Tampa can stop the run, and then at San Francisco. San Francisco's been good against the run so far this year too. So I don't love any of those. I would actually consider playing a couple of these receivers over those flex guys personally this week. But
yeah, who else do we got out there?
I did Debo. I would play. I would really consider. I would consider playing Rashad White
Waddle
this week, maybe.
Yeah,
off the matchup, but like.
Yeah, I think there's just at least three guys you could consider. DJ Moore against Dallas. Maybe.
Yep. He could play Isaiah Likely at tight end this week.
Yeah, I guess he could. Certainly a possibility. Man, Tank Bigsby getting traded to Philly, that's just a vibe killer. That's just tough. He thought he had a shot, and then it's like, oh, no, you don't.
Who has Tootin in our league? Does Dustin have Tootin?
Dustin has Tootin.
Oh, man. He could start him. With his running backs, he could start him the rest of the year.
Rest of the year is interesting, but
Tootin looks good, man.
He definitely looks good. I'm not going to say he doesn't look good. All right. That's going to wrap it up. We had a lot of ground to cover. We had basically 3 weeks worth of matchups to cover. We'll be back to our regularly programmed once a week, shorter podcasts. Starting, we'll probably keep it on Wednesdays. Usually the most dead day of the fantasy week, if you will, that and Tuesday. So we'll roll with Wednesdays for now.